I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
And it's time for He Made Me Watch, and I was the one that made Eric watch a thing. And the thing I made Eric watch, wait for it, is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I mean, he's seen Buffy, but he's never seen the movie Buffy.
I've never seen the film.
So
everyone said it was bad, and I just never bothered to watch it.
So originally, if you're not aware, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was conceived of as a film. And Joss Whedon wrote it and tried to get it made, and it got made, but not the way he exactly wanted it to. He was never really happy with it.
I read up this a little bit. Apparently, his script is darker.
It is a little bit, but
I do want to read that comic. And
it is surprising how similar it is. I mean how close it is. There's differences, but yeah. I think a lot of it is just he wouldn't have shot it like this. You know,
and he probably wouldn't have cast the actors that they cast.
That's right, yeah. So, Christy Swanson, who I've never seen in anything else.
She's in Dude, Who's My Car.
No, you told me about that, yeah. And Donald Sutherland as the Watcher, Merrick. And I think he's great in this. He apparently hated doing this and was awful, but I really like him in this.
He looks like he could be phoning it in, but like it works.
But he's just that good.
Yeah.
Donald Sutherland's just that good.
He just has that strong of a presence.
So, I was just really curious to see what Eric would think of this. I never thought this was
And also Paul Rubens?
Paul Rubens is in this.
And also Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck
and
has
also
a cameo.
Tom Jane.
And all three of the people that Eric just named, he went, is that person? I was like, no, Eric. And then we looked them up, and every single one of them was in this movie.
If you watched this and didn't notice Tom Jane and Ben Affleck, you don't have as good eyes as me.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck is literally in the background in a basketball scene. I'm like, that kind of looks like Ben Affleck. And he has like a specific walk. It's not something he has later in life, but it's his mall rat.
In my defense, you weren't sure about any of those.
Well, no, because they were like the youngest I'd ever seen them.
But it's amazing you were 3 for 3 on that. Like,
I was pretty sure about Ben Affleck. He does Mallrats like 2 years later.
I just thought that vampire looked a little bit like Paul Rubens. I was like, it's not. And we both were like, that's like Paul Rubens, and you just wouldn't get off it. I'm like, it's not Paul Rubens.
Every time he showed up, I'm like, no, that's Paul Rubens. He looks like
it's not. And then I looked it up. Okay, fine, it's Paul Rubens.
The Tom Jane one, I was not sure about. I was like, is that Tom Jane? And I always saw some of the credits was Tom Jane's.
Yeah, Tom Jane's. No, and that's who it was.
Did he just drop the S off his last name?
I don't know what happened with that. No, it's weird. But that was the credit. The credit was Tom Jane's. And wouldn't it have been great, though, if that wasn't Tom Jane, but it was a man named Tom Janes?
That would be amazing.
Yeah, what are the odds?
Oh, and also Rutger Hauer.
Rutger Hauer.
He's the villain.
Yeah, and he's a lot of fun.
Vampire? I don't know his name.
I don't know.
Lothar, right?
Right, let's say that. Maybe Lokar, I don't know. Lothar, I can never be sure. Anyway, so I was just curious to see what Eric would think of this. I never thought this was as bad as its reputation, as a lot of people think it is. Particularly in the writing, where like a lot of Joss Whedon's writing is very clearly him and very much intact. And there were a number of places that we both laughed out loud that were like legitimately pretty funny. And there's certainly like sparks of like innovative storytelling here and there, and at the very least character dimension. So what did you think of this? Finally sitting down and watching it.
I found it interesting.
Yeah.
It's very much a Joss Whedon script. Kind of. It feels like him. I really want to read that comic and see how different it is, because it feels a lot like him, and I could buy that it's just like early Joss Whedon. He hasn't exactly found it yet.
Yeah.
What's weird is
it's not as tight as he is now.
Yeah. What's weird is, I don't know, there's just, it's unspectacular.
Yeah.
Like if I had to review it, I'd say it's unspectacular. It's also not as boundary pushing as like, well, I don't even know if it thinks it is. His script clearly thought it was very boundary pushing.
This movie, you have to say it like this, because it's hard to say versus the script. This movie does not take itself seriously enough.
But it also,
like, it watches like a parody that in certain scenes wants to elevate past parody.
Yeah.
And those two things are constantly at loggerheads.
Yeah. So, there are certain things where I'm like...
I have reviewed this on Rewind, by the way, so I'll stop talking. Go ahead.
There's certain things where the movie will stop and say something, where, like, it's about something, but, like, the rest of the movie's not... There are certain gender dynamics things that I think are a little weird in this movie that are just assumed. it makes this really big deal out of, like, the man being able to step back and let the woman do something. Specific with the lead guy and with her. Like, we have a couple of conversations between them where, like, they both just assume that he's supposed to be uncomfortable with her being strong. And it just feels weird to me, because...
Especially because he doesn't immediately necessarily feel like that kind of person.
No, he's not like a dude bro jockey guy.
No.
But also, I watch movies like this from this time period, and we have strong women all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's pushing back against.
So it's doing almost like that Supergirl, it's about time thing. No, we've done this before. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have enough of it, but you can't pretend like you're first.
There's a lot of like nudity and sex appeal in those movies, but Chrissy Swanson's showing skin in this. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like the TV show where, like, Buffy's more cute than she is. Like, she's not sexualized, right?
Yeah.
Except for when she's supposed to be. This doesn't feel too dissimilar from a lot of movies around this time, and especially earlier in the 80s, that I've seen. So it's weird when it stops and, like, comments on things. Because I'm like, yeah, but you're not that different.
It's trying to push gender, almost said envelopes, I don't know, like boundaries. But it's also for the same audience these kinds of things are usually for.
Yeah. And it's also weird because of the specific genre that was picked. Like, horror's full of strong females.
Yeah.
That's... I don't know, it's weird. It's very strange to me. I don't know, like, it feels a lot like a lot of other movies, which is... I don't know. That was the thing that it was most unexpected to me, was I was like, oh, this just kind of feels like a bunch of other movies in the genre. That occasionally is, like, self-referential, not self-referential, but, like, occasionally, like, comments on, like, how it's defying those genre expectations, or societal expectations, I guess. I just thought it was weird that we just... Both characters seem to assume that the man would have a problem with her being strong. And then there's a line that, like, I have overthought to death trying to figure out what it means. So, there's a point where they're dancing, and he says the very stereotypical line of, "You're not like any girl I've ever met."
Yeah.
Or you're not like all the other girls.
All the other girls, right.
And she says, "Yes, I am." There are two ways I can read that line, and I don't know which is the correct one.
Okay.
The first way is that she's trying to fight back against the Slayer thing, and she just in this moment, she's like, no, I'm just like the other girl. Like, it's a denial thing.
Yeah.
The other way is saying, even though I'm strong and tough, I'm still a girl. I still want to be held by a man. I don't know which I'm supposed to take from that.
Yeah.
It could be either. Because when I first saw it, I read it as the second one. I read it as, no, I still want the girly things. Just because I'm strong doesn't make me not a girl. And I was like, that's kind of powerful.
Yeah,
I kind of really like that.
that.
But I don't know if that's actually what's intended. I don't know if it's a moment of weakness or not. Where it's just, no, I'm not, I am just like the other girls. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be a doubtful moment, or a scared moment. Because she's about to fight all the vampires.
I would think it's yeah. And honestly, in that sense, if it's like a moment of vulnerability, either of them could work. One's not even better than the other.
I mean, I like the second one better, but I don't know.
Sure, but in the context of it, like, one of them might be better than the other.
And
one of them might be.
And I could see Whedon intending both.
The right idea in that moment. Yeah, no, you're right, absolutely.
The biggest problem with this movie, I think...
But I like the, like strong doesn't mean not effeminate. You can be both. Yeah.
I don't... It's clearly directed wrong.
It's directed wrong.
That's the biggest thing about this movie, is it's directed wrong.
How easy would it be to take the exact script they shot, even if it's not all what Whedon wanted, and make a better film?
Yeah. The most jarring thing about this was hearing every single line Buffy says twice. Where I hear her say it, and I hear Sarah Michelle
say it.
Yeah. And every single time it's better in my head. And I can hear how the lines are supposed to be delivered.
That's it.
And none of them are delivered correctly.
By her.
Or most of the other cast members.
Except for Sutherland. I think Sutherland's always on.
Sure. But, like...
Yeah, the boyfriend's okay.
I'm not saying any of that. I don't even dislike her. They're just doing it wrong.
No, but I think he gets it more than she does.
You might be right.
He's got almost a Riley thing going on.
Yeah. Like a better Riley.
You don't like Riley?
No.
Nah, I was never a big fan either.
Do you like Riley? I thought we talked about this.
I don't
know anyone that likes Riley.
I don't hate Riley. I think he's a product of a misstep for the concept of that season.
I think he's boring, and then he's awful.
I forget what exactly he's like toward the end of that season, but...
He runs off... he's boring in Season 4. He's awful in Season 5.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Where Buffy, for no reason, is going through things, then he just runs off to, like, vampire, like drug dens, and is, like, getting bitten. What? Nah,
that was weird.
And then he just runs off, gets married to some military chick. Don't like him. Anyways, so, no, it's so weird to see something, especially being so familiar with the TV show, where I'm like, I know how that line's supposed to be read. I know you're supposed to deliver that. For, like, all the characters. Like, the bad guys, too. Like, I love Rutger Hauer. There's things that Rutger Hauer says that he doesn't deliver them badly because he's Rutger Hauer. He's never given a bad performance his entire career. I love that's true.
Did you get the memo?
Yeah. But like he just says things. I'm like, that's not how you're supposed to say it. It's very strange to hear almost every line of dialogue and then immediately think you said it wrong.
Like you're reading the script.
Yeah. Like there's a line. There's a real small line where Paul Rubens, who's lost his hand. I don't know how he lost his hand.
That was really weird how that was shot. They're outside a car.
So he's on top of the car with his arm inside the sunroof. He hits a tree, and his arm goes with the car. Does that make sense?
Mm-mm.
Maybe he's also made out of whatever the people in Castlevania Season 1 are made out of.
Maybe so. You just look at him while he falls apart.
So he doesn't have an arm.
That doesn't happen to anybody else, though.
And there's a scene later where he's like, you should be with us, Buffy. Like, you could be a vampire, immortal, powerful forever. That's. And she, like, pushes him against a wall and, like, way too quickly says, "Oh yeah, clap." And I know exactly how Sarah Michelle Gellar would deliver that line.
Yes.
And she, like, runs through that line. She doesn't... It's not a setup and payoff thing. She's like, "Oh, yeah, clap." And I'm like, no, that's not how you deliver that.
Timing is all off.
The timing is off. I want to see somebody remake this.
Yeah.
And that was the other thing was watching this, because when they said they were going to do a new Buffy movie, I was like, that's absurd. Buffy's obviously a TV show. And then watching the movie, I'm like, no, it can work as a movie.
Be a film franchise.
I could see it as a film franchise, sure. So yeah. I didn't dislike watching it. It's a fun movie to watch. But it's not as bad as I thought it would be, or as, like, secretly watchable and good as I thought it could be.
No, it's an interesting piece of history.
I have no reason to go back to this.
Yeah, no, sure.
Yeah, I do want to read that comic. I want to see, because I'm curious. Because how long ago did you read that comic?
So it was a long time ago, but it was immediately after seeing this movie.
Okay.
I mean, like, I read it right after I did the rewind.
Oh, okay. And so it's that recent.
And I'm telling, yeah. I mean,
okay.
I mean, like.
So this isn't like you read it like back in college when you were getting into Buffy.
No, but it was 2011, 2012.
Sure.
I mean, it was back in the old apartment. It was a pretty early rewind.
Sure. But it was long enough ago. I might be like, well, maybe we should see if it. Okay. I'm still interested in reading it.
Well, because, like, I keep going back and forth. I'm like, wait, it's been 6 years. Like maybe it's not as close as I remember. But I'm telling you, I read it right after I watched this.
Mm-hmm.
And wrote about it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be that different. I can't imagine that it would be that different. What would I have missed? Like,
I don't know. Maybe
just lived with it.
Maybe it's tonal stuff. Like maybe coming right off the heels of the movie, you're getting all the same lines and you're reading them the way the movie said them, kind of a thing. Like maybe if you had some. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what.
Sure, but I just remember Whedon talking about it like the story was kind of different, and it's the same story.
No, it's clearly just done wrong.
Yeah.
Which is not dissimilar from Alien Resurrection until you get to the third act. But Alien Resurrection is kind of like that too. Or at least that's what Whedon talks about.
Yeah, I
don't have that as much with Alien Resurrection, where I'm like, well, this is just directed wrong.
Do you think Whedon just has to direct his own stuff? Because he's not written a lot that other people have directed.
Him or one of his acolytes.
Yeah.
Like Drew Goddard.
Drew Goddard.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can direct, Joss Whedon movies.
Well, yeah, because he made Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, but they co-wrote that.
Yeah. Well, DeKnight also, I think, could make.
Sure, absolutely.
But yeah, like his acolytes, I think could But no, I feel like to make a Joss Whedon thing, you have to be like directly connected to Joss Whedon.
Yeah.
That's how it seems. I mean, and his couple of lines in Toy Story or whatever.
I don't really know how you want to flip that sign.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Right?
I don't regret seeing it. But I'm gonna go with not feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it's
It's
weird.
a cool history piece before it's... I think Buffy fans should see it.
Oh, no, absolutely. You should absolutely see it. It's just weird to watch, like...
And it's not a chore.
No,
you know,
it's
you weren't like bored watching it.
No, it's real fun. It's just... It's weird watching two movies at the same time.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing.
That's a great way to put it.
If I wasn't familiar with the TV show, or if I was less familiar with the TV show, I might go green. The problem is, all I can see is how much better it could be. So I can't, in good conscience, flip it green because I can see the better movie while I'm watching this movie.
It's hard to say, but if you didn't know the TV show, does that movie watch more like a slapstick thing?
I think so.
More like a parody thing?
I think so.
And obviously there's always been elements of parody in Buffy. Like, elements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, just that Whedon kind of subverting expectations.
Yeah, exactly.
Dramatic scenes build the comedic things build the dramatic things. And everyone else thought they could do it too.
Yes, they did.
Please stop.
Okay, so that's going to do it for How We Felt About. Eric's going to make... Or How We Felt About. He made me watch. Eric's going to make me watch something next week, or next Omnibus.
Yeah.
I don't know what yet. I don't know if you picked it.
I do know.
Cool.
I can tell you who's in it.
I'm looking forward to... Do you want to tell me right now?
Yeah,
Who's in it? Who's in it?
It's Jack Black.
Ooh, cool!
It is his...
I even want to see more of his catalog.
It is what I consider his, like, Stranger Than Fiction or, like, Truman Show.
He has a serious movie like that?
He does.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people at home now already know what you're talking about.
I don't know.
Is it
I watched it by happenstance.
Not a big movie?
Because I found it on YouTube. Or not on Netflix. No, I don't... And, like, I kept seeing it at Walmart, where I was like, what is this movie?
Is it really good, or is it just kind of interesting?
No, it's his Stranger Than Fiction. It's his Truman Show. It's really
Oh, like
good.
quality-wise?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't wait.
I'm not saying it's as good as those two movies, but...
I can't wait.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
I'm
cool.
interested to know if anybody knows what it is.
I've been in such a Jack Black mood. Or just, like, started liking him a lot more just the last couple of years.
It also has another element that I think you'll appreciate a lot, too.
That's awesome. I can't... See, your picks are always more thoughtful than mine. But that's just because there are fewer things I've seen that you've not seen. Folks, thanks again for watching. We sure appreciate it. Eric and I on the Omnibus are going to move on now to news and then letters pages. We are almost finished this evening. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you're watching the Omnibus, just keep the playlist rolling. And otherwise, thanks so much for watching our quick talk about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. See you next time. I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.